This podcast is not here to inspire you. It's here to make you think. You'll probably get uncomfortable, and that is the point. Because real growth starts when comfort ends. And if you want to lead, influence, or build anything with real sustainable impact, you can't afford to keep your head in the sand. I'm Elizabeth, your host, and this is What's Actually Happening, the truths behind human behavior, power, and leadership that you can't unsee once you hear them. Let's get into it. Have you ever reacted in a way that you didn't mean to? The blow up where you say the thing that you shouldn't have said and you watch it come out of your mouth in slow motion and immediately regret it? What about your boss or your partner when they say, "Can we talk?" and it feels like you got punched in the chest by a question? And it feels like this conundrum because you yourself are very aware, controlled, you keep it together. So then why are you still snapping and avoiding and freezing and shutting down? So you start thinking, maybe it's just the wrong strategy that I'm doing, or other people are just a lot more difficult lately. Maybe I'm just not disciplined enough, or it's just a bad day. Well, here's what's actually happening and why being calm and competent does not make you immune to triggers. There is a myth that after you've read the books, listened to the podcasts, gained the emotional intelligence, even attended therapy, that you will stop getting triggered. And that is a big, fat lie. Because awareness does not delete reactions, it delays them. It lets you notice faster, recover quicker. But life is always going to be lifing. People will die, jobs will change, money will come and go. You will still have sleepless nights with or without children. That didn't pause because you did the work. So the skill is not in not reacting, but in expanding your window of tolerance so your reactions don't take over your decisions. Many fear the big breaking point, the catastrophic life event, the divorce, the layoff, the betrayal, the illness. Well, it's not always the big life events that get you. It's actually the slow stacking of micro decisions. It is saying yes when you meant no. It is over-delivering just to prove that you matter. It's editing simple email 15 times just so no one takes it wrong. Fixing things before anyone even asked you to. And it's staying up late when your brain is begging you for sleep. The real danger? Those feel normal, like life's standard operating procedure. Until one day, you don't recognize yourself and blow up because someone didn't say thank you. So since we're never going to stop getting triggered, we might as well catch them earlier. How? Well, we're going to start with reading our body cues. Because while you think the argument started when you raised your voice, nope, it didn't. Your body fires the first warning shot before your mouth even opens. So where it actually started was when your body tensed and you didn't pay attention. When you shifted in your chair because how could they say that? When the temperature in the room suddenly changes and now you're overheating despite not checking the thermostat. You're not defective. Your body is doing its job, gearing up for the main event that you didn't ask for. If you want to respond differently, you need to catch them earlier. And in your window is how you do that. Because in that moment, with your stomach in knots, your breath shallow, your jaw so tight that it could crack a tooth, your brain isn't looking for logic or wisdom. It's looking for safety so that it can relieve that uncomfortable state in your body. Your brain and body, also known as your nervous system, confuse familiarity for safety all the time. So it defaults to old coping strategies, like firing off that reactive email just so you get the last word and then spending the next week repairing, or saying yes and agreeing to something just to smooth it over in the moment, but having a lot of resentment later. Or it's over-explaining something and then replaying that doubt in your head all night. It is not failure It is physiology. The trigger is not the problem. It is information, important data, saying something here is off, not aligning, needs attention. The danger is in dismissing that info and pushing through it, powering over it, and then blaming yourself for the inevitable explosion that happens as a result. It's kind of like forgetting to deal with your car when the check engine light is on, and then you just keep driving. Well, one day it's not going to be great for you. You may say that I just need to manage my stress better. Well, you can't really manage your way out of a nervous system stretched to its capacity for the last few weeks. That's like, I'm going to just fill this water bottle up, even though it's at the brim, but then I'm going to get mad about it because it spilled over and made a mess because there wasn't enough room in there. You may say that I just need more resilience. Well, resilience does not come from ignoring your triggers. It comes from noticing them quicker and choosing differently. You may blame yourself for overreacting. Well, the overreaction is proof that your body, your nervous system, is doing its job. You just happen to not pay attention to the micro-stressors that stacked beforehand. The good news is it's not just body responses that we use to catch and manage triggers. They are important. Remember those ones. That is your first early warning sign. But some other things that we can do are this. Number one, stop expecting to be above the triggers. You won't be, ever. New level, new triggers. The goal is a quicker recovery. Number two, interrupt them physically. If you are getting angry, stand. Emotion moves in the body. Or if you cannot stand, take a deep breath. 4-second inhale, 6-second exhale. What that does is change the focus from the trigger to what is happening in your body. Number three, label it and state it vocally. Now, you might not always be able to say this out loud, but you could say this in your head. I can tell I'm getting triggered. I can tell I'm getting frustrated. I can tell something doesn't feel right here. That will put you back in the driver's seat. And if you're around people, then you may want to respond in something like, you know what? I want to give you an accurate answer. I don't feel like I can give that to you now. Give me a moment and I will come back. That is not you running away from your problem. That is you being the responsible, regulated adult. Get curious, not critical. You cannot shame your way into change. It doesn't work very well. It doesn't feel great. It doesn't make you want to change. Just get curious as to, okay, why am I feeling triggered right now? What is happening in this scenario? That will help you start to recognize your patterns because you probably will have the same underlying triggers in many different aspects of your life. Our last one, stop stacking your micro self-abandonments. Every I'm fine when you're not, every overdone slide deck, every yes that costs you later, those are not minor. They are what shrink your tolerance until the final straw that breaks you. The uncomfortable reality is life keeps moving. In fact, if it doesn't move, you have a very big problem on your hands. But with that comes discomfort, conflict, loss, pressure. The skill isn't in being immune. It is in noticing sooner and then changing course faster, repairing without self-blame. If you are getting triggered, you are not failing. You are human, just running with outdated software. Update your brain and body. Catch your signals. Move your energy. Get curious. Respond when grounded instead of reacting. And stop abandoning yourself by tiny little degrees that ultimately stack up. Your nervous system is doing its job. You need to get out of the way so it can, and stop ignoring it. I'll catch you on the next one. And that's a wrap. See? That wasn't so bad, was it? Uncomfortable? Sure. But necessary. Because change doesn't happen from hopes and wishes, as nice as that would be. Come back for more truths you didn't want to hear, but will definitely think about later. Because this is what's actually happening. I'll see you on the next one.